What's up, guys? This is Pedro from My Stuttering Life, where you will hear the good, the bad, the very ugly. We're gonna laugh, we're gonna cry, but through it all, just know that you are not alone. So, let's get started. This is episode number 116, and my special guest is Puneet Singh Singhal. But Puneet is a person with a stammer and the founder of the SSStart, which is an organization working towards normalizing speech disabilities. Also, to initiate difficult and unconventional conversations around disability rights, accessibility, gender, sexuality, and climate change. He will use comedy as a tool to show the mirror to society about how people with disabilities are treated and looked on as an object of pity. Hi, I'm honored to have him as a guest with me on the My Stuttering Life podcast. Welcome, Puneet Singh Singhal.
Hello, hello, Pedro. How are you? I want to say thanks for having me, and I'm so excited to talk to you and discuss about my life. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you, sir. This is a huge honor. We have a lot of topics to cover, so let's get started. So do you remember when you first began to stutter?
I was around 9 years old, and it came off like a surprise for me because I didn't know that I am going to stammer. And before that, I was quite a I used to participate in a lot of things in my school. I was a very active child, and speaking was a big part of my personality of being so outgoing and so always in for everything. And there when I started it, I was a bit of it was a setback for me, and I just realized that there is some the friction in my speaking, like it was not smooth. And
Oh, yes, sir. I know. Believe me, I know.
and then like 9, 10 years old, so my class fellows were also they are encountering first time stammering. They are witnessing maybe the first time they are witnessing stammering, and they were like a bit surprised, and they just discovered that there is a new kind of speaking style exist in the world. And yeah, so
Yes, sir. We do have a different speaking style. Yes,
yes.
sir. Does it run in your family? Are there any other family members who stutter?
No, no, like no one from like even from distant relatives. No, I was I can proudly say that I'm the first one.
Let's talk about speech therapy. So, have you ever had it in school or maybe, out of school? And if you did, was it helpful?
No, I never approached any speech therapist, but I had counseling sessions around like when I was in 11th standard, and you know the lady was very empathetic towards my condition. She really listened to me about what I'm going through in my daily life. And as a as a teenager, your hormones are not stable. You are going through a lot of bodily changes, a lot of chemical reactions are going inside your body, and then you are facing bullying and teasing at the same time. So it's not a good situation to be in. But she helped me in like uh, giving me some techniques for like uh, I must say that it was not working because to put pebbles in your mouth and then speak, it was not helpful at all. But she said that you can try pranayam, which is a breathing exercise which we use in yoga, and you can do meditation. You can concentrate on your breathing, which I tried which I tried for some days. But I'm trying. I'm not regular, but whenever I got an opportunity, I whenever I feel anxious, because uh, I'm a very sensitive uh, human being, so I try to meditate in order to stabilize my mood and anxiety.
Ooh, let me tell you, Puneet, I thoroughly, I mean, because I started in the in the pandemic to handle, I mean, to handle all of the stressors of the whole world. I started mindful meditation, and I mean, I don't have to tell you, it is wonderful. It is fantastic. I I focus on my breathing, because um I always have a hard time with that. And so once I learned diaphragmatic breathing, it I do it every morning, and so throughout the day I have to remind myself, okay, so if I have a block, I need to stop and breathe, and then it will come out. But I have to remind myself because I'm so s- set in my ways. I just have to you, change it and and just just focus on, I need to breathe. I need to breathe. But I mean, yeah. Yoga, I haven't started that yet, but I'm thinking about yoga. It's an option right now.
Yes.
So tell me, I mean, you were talking about the bullies in school, and I mean, uh, kids are mean. Kids are cruel. What other challenges d- did you experience in school because of your stutter?
I guess lack of empathy has to be number one, because no one is even trying to understand your point. Like if it is a problem, like whatever way you want to call it, you want to call it a speech disability, you want to call it, you are nervous, you are just no, but it is not a inability. And the awareness part is not there. Still, it's not there. But personally, when I see back in time, I was a fighter, and I was just not uh, focusing on this bullying. I was just focusing on my studies. Whatever I can do best, I was just on it. And yeah, but at times when you come back home, you think about certain situations, you feel low, and you feel to not go to the school next day. And sometimes when you go through certain situations, you want to hide somewhere. You don't want to make eye contact to the people. And so I was just when I said I am a fighter, I was just avoiding. I was just ignoring these situations. I was focusing on the brighter things in life, which has its own side effects later in life, which I which I will talk later when we will talk about our like college days and much when I become much more mature, I realized that uh, not addressing some points in your life has a impact later on our mental health. So I will not recommend to become a fighter. I will recommend to become more of a human and more of to actually to reflect on your daily life on a daily basis. Maybe you can meditate. Yes, it's a very good option. Maybe you can write a journal every day, and you the point is to give words to your feelings, make your feelings tangible, because it's not easy. It's not easy for a teenager to comprehend these feelings, to make sense what is happening out there. And especially when you're teenager, you are bullied in front of opposite sex. It's really going to have an effect on your self-esteem. And when there is like, if this is uh, if you goes in opposite direction, if your self-esteem is in danger, I think you really need to work hard on it. And it takes a lot of exercise, it takes a lot of practice.
See, and you talk about being a fighter. I mean, and I mean, I, I resonate with that because every time I would wake up and get ready for school, I would put my armor on. I would have on lots of armor to protect me because school. I mean, school was extremely difficult. You have the bullies. You have those who don't know what stuttering is, and therefore they make fun of it, and they mock you and they tease you, and and so I spent the bulk of my school life. I was just you know uh, uh, completely uh, isolated. So I would eat lunch all by myself. There were days where I would eat lunch behind the school or eat lunch in the janitor's closet because no one wanted to hang around the kid who couldn't speak. And when I did speak, I would have repetitions. I would spit and sputter, and I mean, it wasn't good. And so what I had learned is when I wake up, I put on all of my body armor to protect me. And then I go to school. I face all of the teasing, all of the bullying. I come home. I go to my room. I take off all of my armor, and I'm exhausted. I'm exhausted because, all day long, I had to fight. I had to fight. I had to fight. So believe me, I know what you are talking about, Puneet. Exactly. S- 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 So let me ask you this. Did you find it difficult making friends in school?
uh, Friends, that's an interesting question, because a lot of memories are coming into my my mind. So friendship is a bit tricky. Still it's tricky, because you have to see people in different kind of situation. And there is a saying that when you have to see a people, like how he or she treat a person who is in inferior profession than they are, then we can observe the real human being behind that person, right? So this was my stand, because I'm not considering myself inferior just because I stammer. But the point was that I have to see that how they treat me, because in the hierarchy of within the classroom, I was looked down upon. course, I was not seeing myself in that way, but people used to think I was scoring good marks. I was active, not in these activities where I have to speak, but still, I was I was debating. I was debating, like I was giving my 100%, because if I have to speak, I will speak, and no one can stop me. No one can take that right from me. If I'm competing in a competition, I'm going to speak, and I have really good points about it. So people were like the friends. I was sensitive. I was really observing people. In my subconscious mind, not like very actively, but in my subconscious mind, the processing was going on. So I'm going to filter friends. I'm going to see uh, the people who deserve my friendship, because I am a valuable person. I provide value to the person. If I give, if someone is friend to me, I'm going to listen. I'm going to give a good feedback on his life issues, on whatever problem the person is facing. So if I'm going to provide that value, I have to consider. I have to give myself that priority, that no one can touch my self esteem, and that way I uh, choose to get away with certain people who were I don't want to use the word toxic, but they were not sensitive. Whenever they got the chance, just because they are not good, they're not they cannot compete with me in academically. They cannot compete with me in sports. So where they can compete with me in being fast and fluent. So they are using, they are just using their frustration on me on that way, because they are not good enough to compete with me in these fields. So they are going to do this thing. And then I realized that, and then I said, uh, then I just be clear about it, that enough is enough. Nothing is personal, but I just create a distance between these kind of people, which is of no help, which is of no value.
You bring up, I mean, great points. Because I'm writing them all down. I'm taking some really good notes. And so you spoke about, I loved your quote. I have value. I am valuable. What I have to say has value, and that is so true. That is, uh, you know, just because we have a stutter does not mean that we are unintelligent. It doesn't mean, you know, all that stigma that that is currently out there. Um, we are extremely highly educated, and we are creative, and we are resourceful, and we're courageous. And I loved your point how what I have to say has the value, because that is 100% true. And then also toxic people. Ooh, Puneet, let me tell you, I had a bunch of them. I call them vampires because they drain all your energy. I mean, you know, they're always negative. Nothing that comes out of their mouth is positive. It's always negative, negative, and they are around you. And I mean, after I hang out with them, I feel drained. I mean, they took all of my energy. And so, I had to make a choice. It wasn't easy. It wasn't easy. But what I had what I had to do to help me out, to handle my mental health, to handle my stress, I had to d- 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 I had to distance myself from those toxic people, because I don't have to tell you. I mean, all of their negative energy does have a huge impact on us. And so what I do now is I have people around me who are positive. They are supportive. If ever I am in a low place, I can reach out and talk to them, and they offer options. They offer s- s- solutions, and they offer support. And that is what I need. I don't need people around me who are toxic, who are always complaining about everything. Nothing is ever positive. No, I don't need to have them in my circle. So it was extremely difficult. It had to, I had some family members that I had to, create distance, but it was to help me out with my mental health and my speech and my overall quality of life. So yeah, I mean, there are toxic people out there, and we just we we need to be mindful of you know who is in our circle. So yeah, great points. Okay, so Puneet, so do you have any advice for parents, teachers, and speech therapists with regards to children who stutter?
About stuttering, I would like to say that I would only address parents and teachers in this question. I will address speech therapists later, because it's a whole different issue which I will be tackling through my social venture. So about the parents and teacher, they absolutely, yeah, they have a very critical role. Not in trying to fixing stuttering, but in order to uh, realize the kid that it's okay to stammer. It's completely fine, and you are not at fault. And just, if someone says like that, someone pat on your shoulder, that okay, okay, pal, let's do it. It's fine. Just give your 100%. Whatever you're doing, if you're on the stage, if you're presenting yourself, if you are introducing it, do whatever, but don't feel bad about it. If you're stuck, it's fine. And don't let anyone touch your self-esteem, because if we radiate this energy, and if because to kids it's far more easier to make them understand that if someone is trying to make us at that point now, when we are like when we have lived a significant time of our life, then it's not, it can happen, but it will take whole lot of effort. But with kids, they can learn it playfully, and when they will enjoy the whole process of acceptance, then I think the whole journey towards towards improving, not improving in terms of stammering, because I have nothing to say about that. It's a whole lot of debate about all of these things, but improving in order to become a good communicator. and and parents at home, teachers at school, they have a certain place, they have a certain role to play. For parents, it's like, don't you know don't think that your kid is inferior in comparison to the neighbor's kid, because in India I have seen like comparison is, even if they score like in 1 mark, you know 1 mark, and your father or mother come to know about that the neighbor's kid have got 1 mark more than you. It's so funny and so stupid that no, they say that, look at that kid and look at you, you are good for nothing. They just say it on your face, you're good for nothing. And this comparison is so, it gives the kid that, okay, whatever you're giving effort is of no worth. Instead of you have to channelize all of these conversations around acceptance, around that whatever it is, you are good enough. And teachers like, I'm talking about my experience now. Teachers are observing all of these things, whatever is happening. In in people, like kids have certain kinds of uh, problems in their lives. Maybe someone is stammering, someone have some other kind of disability, and someone has some other issue. But if the teachers, because I have seen some teachers who is allowing bullying to happen. Like, how insensitive is this? Your role is just not to teach a certain subject. Your role is to prepare the students for future, to facilitate the process of becoming better human being. And teachers, like, if they are doing it like the classroom, in that classroom structure, if they are if they are looking at it, if they are looking at the incident and then avoiding it, it's a disrespect to their profession. It's just pure unprofessionalism, and you don't have to overlook anything. Just talk, because even the person who is doing, even the kid who's doing bullying, like, you're doing no service to him. You're not taking sides, because this person is going to face the implications of whatever he or she is doing in later part of their life. And this is like, this is, you're building a society, you are creating a foundation of society which will be self-destructive. You don't know what implication it can create later on in their lives. So just a little step, just a little, you know, intervention at the right time can create a whole lot of change. That's why we call the teachers, that this profession is really critical. and it's the high time is to realize there, especially in India, it's high time to realize that it's not about uh, just getting good marks. It's just not about the subject. It's not about math or science. It's about the human values. It's about teaching empathy. Like, not, I will not use the word teaching, but actually having a conversation around empathy. That, look, point out that, look, whatever you have done is not something you should have done. Just point out and have a conversation why you have done it. Do you think that it can make you a better person? Do you think that if you satisfy your ego by doing this, is it fine? Just ask certain questions which make the person to think. And this is the job of the teacher, to actually let the other person think. Don't create robots or machines, create human beings.
I love that. That is great, great advice. Ooh, Puneet. I've been writing down the notes. That is awesome. All right. So let's switch gears a little bit job wise. Okay. Um, I know that it's difficult to prove in a court of law, but I mean, I think we know. I think we know. Um, had you ever experienced discrimination on the job because of your speech, because of your stutter?
Yes, they listened to me, and they said, you can go, on my face, like, as simple as
No.
that. As simple
Puneet.
as that.
Oh
uh,
my goodness. Yeah. Um, I've I've had a couple of those, in job interviews. And so let's talk about job interviews because I can't hide this, Puneet. There's just this I just cannot hide. How did you handle job interviews?
Interviews, the nature of my stuttering is very, is very weird. I don't know, because yesterday what happened to me, I was talking to a friend of mine, and I was talking fine. Then I have to, just few minutes later, I have to record a video, and I have to send it to someone. and then I was saying my name. So I was stuck in my name. So the video was supposed to be of 2 minutes, but I just like, it creates a sense of anxiety in me that, time is running out. I was stuck. So if you give a boundary, that in this much of time you have to say these much of things, then I think I become conscious, and then the the voice becomes like the sound becomes quite, it becomes so difficult for me. And what happens, like in job interviews, what I do, I try to be casual. I try to listen songs before the interview, and I don't want to think about it. But sometimes, when you are really passionate about a job, you really want to get, like, it's a dream. So you cannot detach. Even if you try, even if you do breathing exercises, you try to listen to songs, you can't, because it's your dream. How can you detach? And if and there comes the interview, and I couldn't utter a single word, and people were waiting for me. I cannot. And I it was the first and the only time when I gave up, because it was the pressure. People were trying, like people gave me an opportunity that time. I really appreciate that, but I gave up. So attachment, and when you become so much into the process, that what will happen if I fail, what if, this question really, is such a such a dangerous question for me. And job interviews are like that, but some job interviews where I don't want to get the job, I just enjoy myself. I just, that I have got an opportunity to express myself. Let's do it. And these interviews, I really, uh, I'm really good. Like fast and fluent, not good. I take my words back. Not good, but fast and fluent as per the requirement of the industry. And they will say, okay, yeah, you are good. You're hired. I got a job in a bank, like that. I just went casually, and I succeeded in that job interview. But when it's highly weird, and I don't know when it will come, because with talking to you, some people will say that this guy is I think is not stammering, but at times when I become conscious, at times at certain words, at times at certain conditions, I'm very good at stammering.
Oh yes, Puneet. Let me let me tell you, it is random. It is readily random. I mean, there is no rhyme or reason. It just comes out when it wants to come out. And so, what I had learned, because let me tell you, Puneet, I bombed so many interviews. I mean, we're talking, I was sweating, I was hyperventilating, I couldn't breathe, my chest was hurting. I was, it was, it, it's too much, Puneet. It's too much. And so, after all those job interviews that I've, I failed, just one after another, I just said, okay, I'm just going to tell him because, I can't hide this. Once I get this out of the way, then I can focus on answering their questions related to the job that I am interviewing for. And so when I would walk in, and like you, I mean, I would be in my vehicle and just crank up the music and just get out of my head. Okay. However, once I walk in to that job interview, it's like, okay, I have to do this. And so I would greet them and say, I'm Pedro Pena. I have a speech impediment. I have a stutter. So if at any time I get hung up on any word, give me 8 hours and hopefully the word will come out. And when they laugh, I know it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay because I got it out there. I got it out there, and then after it's out there, I can focus on what they're asking me in this job interview. And so once I did that, ooh, it got better, you know. Um, I still had hiccups. However, I would stop and breathe and carry on. But I mean, ooh, yeah, I had horrible job interviews where I just walk up, get up and walk out because I mean I can't even pronounce my name. I mean, if I can't do that, so yeah, it was it was rough. It was rough. Let's talk about some everyday activities. I call them ADLs, activities of daily living. So I know we are in this pandemic. So let's talk about before the pandemic. How did you handle the telephone? How did you handle restaurants and drive-throughs?
Oh God, it's telephone calls, like generally general calls have been never smooth for me because I cannot see the person, and uh, like some quick calls. As I said, when I put a limit to time, you have to be quick. You have to just say whatever you want to say. It never worked for me. And restaurants, I just start spitting. I just some words. If I have to order some chicken, like so much of uh, friction in the voice. And yeah, restaurants was never smooth for me. Calls generally, when I know the person, when I know the subject, when I'm a little bit comfortable, it's fine. But when a new person is talking about something unknown, or maybe something intense, then yeah, it's a nightmare sometimes.
So, okay, now that we're in this pandemic, where everything has changed. Restaurants are closed. We have to do everything, on webcam and Zoom and Skype and everything. How have you adapted to this new normal? Because it has completely pushed us out of our comfort zones. How have have you adapted?
First of all, I would like to tell you an incident which was, uh, it was witty. Sense of humor was there, but for me, because I am in complete harmony with my stammering. But for some people, it can be highly insensitive. What the guy said, that in a Zoom call, that I don't know if it is the network or if you are stammering because of this thing. Yeah, oh God, it's I said nice one, nice try, bro. You're like you. I really like that. But you know,
Yes.
uh,
Okay, now, okay, okay. Let me give you a tip. All right. So it's helped me out 100% of the time. Oh, okay. So whenever I began either on Zoom or Teams or Skype, um, I tell them, it's not your internet connection. It's just Pedro because I have a stutter. Okay. So, you know, don't put in the chat box, um, you know, check your router or your internet connection. No, no, no. It's just Pedro. It's just Pedro. And so when I tell them that, it puts everyone at ease. And so, that is a tip that I have learned in this pandemic to just to tell them, no, it is not my internet connection. It's just Pedro. So yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
And I don't like Zoom calls because personally I'm going through that fatigue period because in first 6 months I have attended enough Zoom calls. All these workshops were virtual, and then everything was, so I just, if it is very important, then I attend it. Otherwise, this I don't like the whole process of joining and then and this thing. But apart from that, if I don't have people, like if physically they are like more than 4 or 5 people, then I start to have some problems, which I have improved a lot in last 7 months while I was in Kerala, so south of India, where every week I was going through a leadership training program, where every week we were under the scrutiny. We were on the hot seat, and people were asking us questions about our projects, about what kind of solution are we going to offer through our social ventures. So all of these things, have really helped me to get over that anxiety in the physical world. But uh, Zoom calls is not for me. I really don't enjoy the process. Whether I'm like stammering or not stammering is another fact, but I really don't. It's like a bit too much for us now because it's been more than 2 years. But unfortunately, we cannot do much about it.
Yeah. One other thing that I have learned is, on Zoom, I do not look at my video. I don't. I look at everyone else's video. I do not look because I know I will have a jerking motion, on my mouth, or my eyes will go all over the place. Yeah, so I don't look at my video, my webcam. I look at everyone else's, and that seems to help, calm me down just a little bit. Another helpful tip. Okay, now, do you think that it is important for people who stutter to have a thick skin?
I used to believe that if we have a thick skin, then I think it can be more easy. But as we were discussing, that being a fighter doesn't help in long term because you are suppressing your emotions, and it will come out in one way or another, and it can take a toll on your mental health. It can uh, give you anxiety. It can give a lot of other things. But the point is that uh, that you need to be honest with yourself. It's about being expressive to your own self. And if you are honest, if you're not if you're not giving priority to your health, then I think no one can help you in that, because bullying is another thing. But if you're feeling self-sufficient, you can look in the eye of the person and say that, so what? And it is what it is. And don't like, why there is a need to have a thick skin. Like, generally, I'm a very sensitive person. I listen, and I really listen and ask a lot of questions. So when you are this much of a listener, you take everything in. There is no filter. And I think about, like, even if a person had commented on you in a humorous way, but I'm going to deconstruct the whole comment. I will try to analyze it through a lot of different point of view. and and it is like sometimes it is not helpful, but at the same time, being honest and getting that courage. Okay, what next? Like what next we can do about it? Because uh, being having thick skin should not mean that you are running away from that emotion. You are hiding away. No, being thick skin can mean that you're taking things lightly. You are trying to find humor in everything, and that's fine. Because if we give that vibration to the world, that we can laugh on ourselves, it's a different thing to to being laughed on, and it's a different thing to make people laugh. And if you have that attitude that okay, you listen to everything, and if you, because when someone joke on me, I say good one, because I don't need to defend myself. Why should I? Why would we? There's no point. And then if something is insensitive, then you can point it out according to your own wisdom. Like no one is stopping you from giving a reply, but it should not be a reaction. You should respond in a way that you're helping the other person also. Because when someone bully with me, I feel sorry. Like I feel okay. I don't want to want to sound patronizing, but okay, okay, brother, you need to listen. You need to understand that point, that you are doing no good to yourself. And let's talk sense. Let's talk man to man. And okay, sit down and listen what I have to say. Like in not in public, because in public, if you're bullying me, I'm not going to take it. I'm going to give a reply which 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 I think you may feel sorry. It will like it can destroy your day. Because now we are not holding it back. I have faced enough in my life, and if you have that attitude, it will reflect in your eyes. You can see my eyes eyes are getting wide while saying that, because I have done this so many times, and I have the right to. I am entitled to have an opinion, because you are commenting on something which you should not. And if you're doing it, let's face face the consequences. But at the same time, I have no problem with my stammering. So it's not reaction. It's not like if you're saying that, as suppose if you are saying that uh, you are incompetent, then okay, then I give myself some time. Because if I don't give myself some time, then the other person is getting the success, that okay, I'm able to disturb that guy. So don't allow anyone to disturb you. Don't allow anyone to interfere in your inner peace, but give them a response, and give them a tight response. Because society need to have that conversation. and and always, like, we also have a problem in stammerers, that we are over agreeable. We agree soon. We're not assertive. I'm not saying to be aggressive, but be assertive. Keep your points, like listen and then talk, but talk. Don't stop yourself.
R- 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 right. Plus, I love how you how you say respond with a response. And for me, that's education, because There will always be people who are going to make fun of you, and tease you and mock you. They will always be there. However, we can respond with education. This is what I have. This is what you will see. This is what you will hear. And, I've heard from a lot of people that hurt people hurt people. So if you have to make fun of me to make yourself feel better, that is on you. Because I know I'm awesome. I know I'm awesome. So I will respond with education. I will respond with integrity and respect. And if you cannot deal with that, then that's on you, because Pedro is awesome. And then I will go on with my day. And if it happens in public, I'm going to respond in public with education. And so that way everyone around, will hear that I am responding with education, respect, and integrity. And that will look horrible on you because you are the one who's making fun of me. So yeah, great answer, sir. Great answer. Okay, now, so have you ever experienced social isolation because of your stutter?
Personally, it was not the other people who were isolating me, but I was isolating myself. And it's a bitter truth about us. We we all need to understand that it's not much of an issue. Like if someone is friend with you, if it is your family, they love you, no matter what, and you need to accept that. At times, they will comment on your speech. At times, and I have faced that too from my friends, from my family. Uh, but you don't. But I think we overthink a lot about that, and we self isolate ourselves, and this is not the way to go forward. It's about, you have to assert your position in the society, in the family, in the workplaces. And if someone is doing that for you, if it should be like their insecurity. It has to be their ego, and it has nothing to do with you. And it takes a lot of time to understand that. It takes a lot of time. You cannot just go out, because every day when you're going to sleep, you are going to think about your whole day. And because it's such a human tendency to think about, when you are on bed, you're going to think about it. And then you decide impulsively that, okay, in this social context, this happened to me, so from now on I'm going to hold back. I'm not going to take up an opportunity to talk. I will not interact. I will not give my inputs. Yeah. So it's a very difficult process to understand that it's first you. And and the other way is to realize that you are the captain of your ship. It may sound that a lot of motivational quotes are there in the internet and all of these things, but if you live your life like that, this quote really makes sense. And and social isolation, like, people have tried, but I know that in my I used to play cricket, and people have tried to to just stop me from talking, from giving me inputs, but I didn't stop. And I was whenever I got an opportunity, I'm going to talk. And, like, they're like, the society is a very complicated structure, and in which if we need to establish our place, you have to have that authority, and you have to show that you are assertive. You have to show that you are providing that valuable inputs in your workplace, in your sports team, in your society, in your colleges, but whenever wherever you are, you're going to play a role, and just give you 100% in it. Because the point is that how you're speaking should come later, but what you're speaking, the content should be there. If you have the substance, people will listen. As simple as that. If you are, I am going to say it again, if you have the value, people will listen. But you should have the courage to actually introduce yourself to the world. That okay, I am Puneet and I have got this thing to offer. And if you find me capable enough, if you find me that I am of any benefit to you, then you can come to me. Simple.
You know, and that is an awesome response because I did that. I chose to be alone because that's where I felt safe. Um, because I didn't want to mess with the bullies. I didn't because oh man, they would chase after me. I was a good runner, Puneet. I was a good runner, and so I chose to 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 self isolate because to me, you know, that had it had offered me the most protection. So, yeah, I mean, great insight. And you were talking about, introducing you to the world, and establishing your place. Um, you have an organization, which I think is just fantastic. Can you talk about your organization?
Oh, yes, but before that, I would like to say that I am also a very fast runner. So is it so like we stammers are generally very good at running because we are running all our lives?
I think we are Puneet. I think we're twins. I'm here in Texas and you are in India, but we are twins because woo, I learned how to run fast.
Okay, so
All right, so go ahead, go ahead.
so my organization name is Start with triple S because this is how we say that word. So it's in the first level, in the first layer, it's how we speak, but it has a lot of layers inside it, like a lot of layers. My vision is to normalize different speech disorders in the society by initiating a two-way conversation from both of the ends, to have these kind of events and workshops where people with stammering are coming, and when where the non-stammerers are also coming and they are talking. So it's not that like a lot of organizations are there who are working for stammerers, but the point is that it's a only for stammerers organization where we are not getting the inputs from the non-stammerers. So we are not able to initiate that conversation that that when someone is stammering, the society don't know how to react. We are empathetic about it. We are, even if we want, if people want to help, they will end up finishing the sentences, and this is of no help. So here comes the role of awareness. Here comes the role of empathy. And I think awareness is an overused word in this social sector, because awareness somehow is there, somehow is there. We know that we should not do that, and we should do that, all of these things. But if we, it's the first step, it's the first phase. And after acceptance, no, after awareness comes acceptance from both way. And it is not going to be easy. It is not going to 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 like happen in one workshop, to happen in one event. But the whole idea is to start. The whole idea is to begin a conversation. And it is not going to be around speech disabilities only. We are going to have people, but we are going to talk about the misconceptions uh, that is there in the society. The idea is very broad, because as a society we don't talk much. So I give it an analogy that the whole society is having a speech disability. I'm talking about Indian society, because we ancient India was a highly liberal society. It was, we were talking about anything and everything. We were talking about sex. We gave Kama Sutra to the world. We gave yoga to the world. We gave Ayurveda to the world. We were like pioneers in science, architecture, medical science, neuroscience. Like everything was there in ancient India. But somehow in the process of various invasions, we lost the track. And now in the society we are not talking about the role of mental health, and all these, like the country which gave yoga to the world is not talking about mental health. It's a taboo to talk about that. If someone is going through depression, people say that, just say that this person has gone mad. And it's so like we are going backward in time, and through initiating these conversations, because this is not going to help. And about sex, about sexuality, we have various gods that has been transgender. We have various mythological stories that accepted LGBTQI community. And now we are talking about, should we initiate that law or that law. I think we will have to look back at time and realize that from where we are coming. We have to learn from our own past, because sometimes any good thing comes from your home. And I talk with my mother a lot. I talk with my mother, and I gave all of these things, that in ancient India, the 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 woman used to be topless. The role of the breast is just to breastfeed the kid. It has no sexual uh, connotation at all. And now we have become a highly, like, if we see a cleavage of the girl, uh then her whole character is going to be questioned. And then if something like, if there is some sexual assault or rape happened, then okay, so this girl was wearing that, so she was asking for rape. How bad is that? And these all these things, like, it's so tragic to see all of these things happening in your country, in your beloved country, where all of these great philosophers have, like, we are the country of Gandhi. And if we initiate, because we are not talking about climate change. Yes, we are not talking about climate change, and we are the one of the most carbon producing countries. Why not? It's not even in the narrative. It's not even in the public discourse. So from starting from speech disabilities, we are going to have a variety of participants, and we are going to initiate conversations around that. We are going to challenge the conventions. And in India, I think I see a lot of scope for improvement in accessibility sector as well, in disability rights as well. Because the whole narrative, don't no one talk about that. The accessibility, that doesn't mean that you are building ramps. It is giving yourself an opportunity to interact and engage with different ideas. And accessibility doesn't mean that you're only going to have to help a person with disability. No, it makes the overall standard of life good. So the whole lot of like it's a start, which I literally means we have to start. We have to start ASAP, as soon as possible. We have to initiate these conversations, because we are missing the time. We are a young country, and we need to begin all of these things, because there is a stigma, there's a taboo behind all of these conversations. We when we when we when we discuss about these things, we see reactions like people are raising their eyebrows and saying that it is against the Indian culture. So I must say that culture and systems are different, two different things. Indian culture is always being greatly liberal and always accept challenging ideas. We we like we can be, there's a school of thought that we cannot believe in God and still be an Hindu. How liberating is that? You know, all of these things, so we have to remind ourselves. And the whole idea, the whole vision is to just start a conversation, just, because to agree or disagree is a different thing, and we all have the right to disagree as well. But the first thing, the first step should be to initiate a conversation which is not there in place.
And you bring up a great point in having a conversation and talking about mental health. Mental health is huge. It's a huge issue that when I was growing up, in school, and going through speech therapy, there wasn't a mental health component, to it. But basically, when I was in speech therapy in school, the goal was to get me to talk like everybody else, which made me feel like I was broken, like I was damaged. There was no mental health component added to it, which I would have greatly appreciated, greatly, because it would have allowed me to handle the bullies, to handle self esteem, to handle coping skills, to deal with all of this. And then also with the darkness, because I went through a lot of darkness, Puneet. And, later in life in speech therapy, they had finally addressed the mental health aspect. And, um, you know, I just wished that I had it at the start, of my speech therapy. Granted, when 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 I was in speech therapy, that was in the late 1970s, where not much was known about it. However, now, you know there is still ongoing research, and now that I had therapy later in life, they had finally addressed, the mental health aspect. So yeah, it's all about having that conversation and talking about mental health. It is so important.
Also, to add one thing, uh, I skipped that part when you ask about speech therapist, the role of speech therapist in a life of a person with stammering. the so I was discussing about my solution to a friend of mine, and she asked that. So I said that I am going to have a in-house psychologist with me if someone require a professional support, because I'm not qualified, and I'm not going to take chances on in this regard, because maybe someone is going through a trauma, because of that he or she have started to stammer. So but the point is that she asked me that but why you're not having speech therapist then. So I said that we as an organization, we are not going to go in that niche. We are trying to narrow down our approach, and if some therapist is interested to work with us, then I think let's talk about it, because I have gone through some therapists in the big cities of India, and their whole uh, idea is that we can fix you, we can help you to cure stammering, which is totally unscientific. And if someone is talking like that, I'm not going to listen. Like I'm experienced uh, uh, I'm experienced with stammering. I have given 20 years of my life to stammering. I'm almost like, if someone works in a line in a field of career for 20 years, he or she may be considered an expert. So I am considering myself an expert, and because I have gone through it. Like I have gone through it. I know that it cannot be cured. If someone is claiming, don't listen. And there have been research papers. Researchers have only one consensus about stammering, that it is a complicated and complex issue, but there has not been a single, like, they cannot point out a single reason, like that only this reason is the fact behind, is the reason behind stammering. Not even one. But they say that it varies person to person, and the methods and the techniques that can help one person, is we are not guaranteed that it can help the other person as well.
See, I cannot tell you, Puneet. I get emails. I can cure your stutter in 3 days for $8,000. Like, no. And and one person has said, well, give me a week and I will cure you by putting bay leaves under your tongue and you hold
Uh,
it for a couple of hours. I said, no, 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 no. I mean, like you, I've had this for 45 years, Puneet. 45 years. I think I'm a little expert,
yes,
because
yes, yes.
I have experienced it all, Puneet. Everything I have experienced, and you know, some were horrible and some were bad, and only a tiny bit have been good. Experiences, and so when when I get told that if I pay $10,000, I can, have this, a quote unquote, you know, therapy, that I will be cured. And so, I know, as you have told us, there is no cure. I mean, there are, I believe the stats are 75% of, 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 people who have a stutter, they grow out of it, it goes away, da da da. However, the other 25%, you and me, Puneet, I mean, we have it for who knows how long. And so what I have learned is I have this. I have a stutter. It doesn't define who I am. I just have it. But I know that Pedro is awesome. I know I have the confidence. I mean, I know that I'm going to rock it out, whatever that I do. If I have a challenge, I love how you had put this. I am going to face it head on. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. If I should have a couple of hiccups, it's okay. I'm going to stop. I'm going to breathe, and I am going to carry on because nothing is going to hold me back. Whatever that I want to do, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. You know, and there are a lot of people out there, Puneet. I mean, I don't have to tell you, but there are a lot of people out there, who, tell me I can't do this, I can't do that. You know, be because of my stutter, and so I always respond, watch me, because I'm going to do it. You know, uh, and I will do it. So yeah, thank you for that. Now
Yeah.
had you had briefly touched on this, but I want the whole story because I mean, you know, this is a hot topic for a lot of people who stutter. And, whenever I ask my guests this, the responses are split right down the middle. And so let me ask you, Puneet, for the whole story. So, do, do you let others finish your sentences?
Never. No. No, 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 no. It's a big no. Nothing. Like you stand no chance, and it's like people like there have been a lot of jokes behind it, and then and some like, but no, because it's the whole part of your existence. Because the way you speak, you have the right to finish your own sentence, like finish what you start, right? and and then
Exactly,
if
exactly.
yeah, and the I what I think about it, I okay, let me explain it that way, that uh, I am in full harmony, I am in full acceptance of the way I speak, and someone is trying to give me this patronizing uh, attitude that okay, you are stuck, so he is trying to guess, and he's trying to be little uh, to show that okay, I'm superior in this way to you. And this like, okay, so the whole idea behind starting the organization, the first step to all our participants will be to not go through that experience. As you said, look at me, it has taken us years to reach that phase, to reach that state of mind, and I just want to fasten up that process, ease up that journey for them. Okay, it took me around 18 years, 17 years to reach that acceptance level. Can I make it 1 year for them? By oh, it is going to difficult. But let's try it. Can I make it 1 year for them? Let's save them the stress. Let's save them the effort. And the life will be so pleasant for them, because they have to walk on that path of acceptance. They have to walk towards it. But now they have a companion. As simple as that. So you're not going to give the driving seat of your life to anyone. You're not going to allow anyone, you know. And after acceptance part, disclosure is very important. As you clearly said, that you declare that I'm going to have taken this much of hours, and you just nail it. That's the point. If you are going to have some, if you feel that this person is going to interrupt me in between, put a disclosure. And that can only happen when you have finished your journey towards acceptance. when you've reached that state of mind. So it's a very logical journey, step by step. It is not going to be easy. I'm not saying I'm an expert in this regard, but let's talk about it. I can share my experience. There are a lot of resources that you can listen to. That a lot of resources that people can read. Let's try. Let's give it a shot instead of uh, doing all of these things, because there were a lot of, as you were giving that, there were a lot of remedies that were offered. I was offered a whole lot of stupid remedies, which I which I didn't even try it at all, because even in my childhood I was smart enough to realize that it is not going to help. And these adults are giving me these kind of advices. I feel sorry to all these people who are still suffering, because suffering is not from stammering. Suffering is a internal thing which is going around you. You are just trying to make like, you're just multiplying your struggles.
No, you were talking about it took you 18 years, you know, reach that level of acceptance. It took me 35 years, Puneet. It took me a little bit longer, and I suffered, Puneet. Let me tell you, I suffered, and um, you know, you bring up a great point. When I was younger, I mean, I would have done anything. I would have paid anything. I would have done anything to get rid of it, because we are a vulnerable population. We are vulnerable. We want to get rid of this. And let me tell you, I tried voodoo. Mexican voodoo. it I mean, I thought, as a younger person, I thought I'll try this, and then, I'll be cured, and then my whole life will be awesome. No, Puneet, that voodoo, it did not work. I lost some money. And so, with you taking 18 years and me taking 35 years, the day that I woke up on my 40th birthday, I said, that's it. I'm done. I'm done. I'm exhausted, because I don't have to tell you. I mean, from the time that we wake up until the time that we lay our heads on our pillows, we're exhausted, because we are blocking, we are repeating, just the whole, all day long, all of my organs are tense all day long, because I have my body of armor up. So all of my organs are tense. And so when I get home, I'm drained, Puneet. Let me tell you, I have nothing for anybody. I don't want to talk to nobody. I don't want to see nobody. I want to sit in the darkness and just rest, because it takes a lot of energy. And all day long, we do in our head what, what a lot of people don't understand. We do mental gymnastics in our head. You know, you know, for me, I'm switching words around. I mean, we do a ton of mental gymnastics as we are speaking. And after I'm done, I don't know about you, Puneet, but I'm exhausted, and then to do that all day long. So, after 35 years, I embraced my stutter. At 40 years old, I said, that's it. Pedro is awesome. I love Pedro. And let me tell you, Puneet, I never uttered those words in my entire life. And once they came out, everything was gone. Everything. The guilt, the shame, the embarrassment, everything just, 35 years, Puneet, 35 years of guilt and shame, embarrassment, all gone. All gone. It's Pedro. He's now 40 years old, and he's awesome. And I love Pedro. I just have a stutter. It doesn't define who I am. It's just what I have. I know I'm awesome. And so every day I would push my self out of my comfort zone. Do things that I would never do, and if I failed, I would learn from it and then have that applied into the next time. And so on the next time, if I had a win, I would do a little happy dance. Look what I did. Look what I did. I thought I could never do this in a million years, and look what I did. And I did it. And so every day I was building momentum, with win, win, win. And then my confidence grew. And then I was unstoppable. If you laugh at me, that's on you. If 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 you want to make fun of me, that is on you. Because I know I'm awesome. And once I reached that point, Puneet, a whole new world opened up, a whole new world. And so, once I embraced my stutter and stopped fighting it, because, Puneet, I fought every day. I fought every hour of every minute of every second of every day to just, have the words come out of my head and come out into the world. And it's exhausting mentally, physically, psychologically. But once I hit that point, like what you did after 18 years, you had accepted it. For me, after 35 years, I did it. I wish I did it earlier, but everything happens for a reason, and 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 so once I had embraced it, I mean, just a whole new world had opened up. So yeah, it's it is powerful once you accept it. I mean, we're all different. Our journeys are all different. And so whatever journey that you are on, I respect it. I have my journey, and Puneet, you have your journey, and there are others that differ from mine and yours, and that's okay. I respect it. Okay. We're all on this earth. What I believe is to help each other. So yeah, awesome. Okay, so Puneet, have you ever experienced negative self-talk?
Many times in different points of life. Even today, I was like having a difficult day because I was comparing myself to others, and it's a very exhausting feeling. It takes you so much down. But at times when you like, it's in the era of social media, in the era of when people like really show off like they are living the life of their dreams. You see that and you say that, where do I stand? And especially in when you are in a social sector. I gave up my job 4 years ago, and then I started an NGO, which was like nothing but I used to teach young kids basic science and English in on my terrace. And to get the funding, to get the resources was so difficult. Because as a new NGO, you're just registered. No one believe in you. No one know you, and you're just trying to do your work. And I was like full of energy, and I just continued whatever I can till the pandemic. And after the lockdown, I cannot continue the physical classes, but then I tried to make it virtual. I tried to make it like to teach kids online, but these kids are from the slums. These kids are from the margin of the society. So it was so difficult. I contacted several people. I helped them to, they can buy a smartphone. Then I need to help them to actually get internet, and you and then a an educational platform gave me support. That I can use their platform to teach them online. So all of these things, I am making an impact. I am proud of myself. But at times you will talk negative, because there is like recognition part is so less. We can say, I say at times, at out of a year, 365 days, 360 days, I can live without validation. I can live without any any recognition. But for 4 days, I I want someone to actually acknowledge my effort. And this is so human, because people will listen to this podcast and say that you are into social sector and you are asking for something which is for you. How can you? But I'm a human being, and I have no guilt in accepting that, because I come from a slum. I have a family to take care of, and I need resources. I need, at least I need people to, to appreciate what I have done, what I have sacrificed, to, because I was studying all my life, because my parents were saying that if you study you will get a good job. And I got a good job, and then I left that job, and I was doing social service. Some of the people, my neighbors, my relatives, my friends were saying that you are foolish. And I have no problem in being called foolish, because I'm living my dream. This is my passion, and I'm still continuing my passion, and I'm going to live. I'm going to live this life, because to bring a social change, to bring some impact on the society, this is why I'm living, and I find my purpose. But at times, you certainly, you need something, as a human being. And I don't run away from these emotions anymore, because stammering has taught me a lot of things. It has almost made me a very self-aware person, and I'm proud of that. And people appreciate that part of me. People, like, when anyone has a problem, when a friend of mine is going through something, when my mother is having a good day, I talk, and they always give that feedback that it's always helpful to talk to you. It has given me a lot of things, but it has made me highly sensitive and self-aware. So negative talk is there, and it's a very normal thing. It's very natural.
It is, because woo, I had that for 35 years, Puneet. Woo, that negative self-talk. And when he would come up, I named him. I named him Oscar. Oscar the Grouch. So if there's anyone named Oscar out there, then I apologize. But I named him Oscar the Grouch. And when he would come up in my early years, um, he would tell me, you cannot talk on the phone. Hello. You can't even, say your name. How can you talk on the phone? And so then I would, you know, put the phone down. I did that for 35 years. I listened to that that negative self-talk. However, after I turned 40, Puneet, after I turned 40, I said, no, I'm in charge now. I am in charge. And so whenever I had to do something like give a presentation or do a conference telephone call, he would pop up, but I would shut him down. I said, no, I am going to do this. I am in charge now. I'm calling all the shots. You have no more power over me, because I am in control now. And I mean, and he does pop up, from time to time he pops up, but I shut him down. I shut him because I'm in control now. Pedro is driving the car. I don't need no passenger or a backseat driver. I am driving this car. So yeah, yeah, it's yeah, that was extremely rough for 35 years because I mean he controlled all aspects of my life. Yeah, it was rough. Okay, so now here is a head scratcher. Okay, I ask all my guests this, and all of the answers are split right down the middle. And so let me ask you, Puneet, when you are alone, can you speak without stuttering?
Yes, always. Like I never stutter when I'm talking to myself. Oh, I just say that, if I can be like that in front of public, then I think I would be a great public speaker. uh, but
See, and
uh,
here,
hmm.
mhm. Go,
Yeah,
go, go.
but the possible but now I don't feel like that, because if you have like uh, if you are okay with it, now it's so much easy. It's like no pressure, no stress, just express yourself, just play your game. That's it.
See, and here is where I am your opposite. Okay. Okay, now I'm still your twin, Puneet. But on this one, when I'm alone, I still stutter, I block, I repeat. I mean, it's there is no rhyme or reason. It just happens. So we're all different. We're all different. So okay, so here is another hot topic issue because I mean, woo. I mean, whenever I ask this, it brings up a lot of emotion. So, okay, let's say that you had a a doctor's appointment, or whatnot. So you go to the building and then you walk in and there's a front desk person, and they greet you, and they ask you for your name. And then you have a block. I'm not talking an ordinary block. I'm talking it's a block where nothing is coming out. And then the front desk person responds, "Did you forget your name?" Has that ever happened to you, Puneet?
uh, the sound of my name, Puneet. So I have a lot of problem with the sound poo. It's for some people it's a very difficult word, poo. So you make faces. The whole of the facial exercises are there. Your eyes are all over the place, and you're stuck. And people are looking like people have some drama to see, and it's stuck. And sometimes I just try to like give it a very fast like Puneet, or I just differentiate like poo and punit. So all these techniques, I try everything like punit, just changing the sound. All of these hacks, all of these tricks come handy. But from my experiences, like it's always been a sound which I struggle. And sometimes you when I was in school, I was thinking to change my name, to have have something which I can say easily. Yeah, that was stupid.
Ye- I've been there, Puneet. Believe me, I've been there. Yours is a P and a U, and mine's a P and a E. And so, I mean, my P's would sound like I'm I'm like throwing a kiss like Hedro Pena, and so It's like, no, I'm not trying to kiss you. I'm just trying to say my name. But I mean, that has happened so many times. And so at that point, you know, when they ask me, did I forget my name? I do what you do. I give them a response. I educate. I just have a stutter. So here's what you will see. Here's what you will hear. And so that way, for the next time that they encounter another person that may have a stutter, they will be better equipped because I'm all about education. When you know better, you do better. So, yes, I respond with education. The old Pedro, ooh, I would get upset. No, that's an old Pedro. The new Pedro, I respond with education because you know, like what you had stated previously, there is awareness. However, I want to educate to reinforce that awareness. So, yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting. Okay, so here is a deep question. You know, I ask all my guests, and it's split right down the middle. I respect all of their answers. So let me ask you this: do you consider stuttering a disability?
Yes, and
All right.
yes, it's a disability, and we should not have any problem to accept that. And this is a disability, not an inability. We still can communicate. We still can put across our point. But to actually say that, because what is the definition of disability? You know, if you cannot do any task properly, if there's some hindrance, I'm not going into technicalities. This is the like the broad definition is like, if you're facing any difficulty in any task, and we are facing difficulties to speak, as simple as that. Like, let's not complicate it, and let's not create a movement out of it. just just accept that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. Thank you for that. All right. Okay. So, you know, did you ever think that your stutter might impair your career path?
Yes, I used to think like that, but uh, I'm using disclosures a lot now. And after talking to you, I am going to use it even more. Thanks to you, Pedro. And
Education, education, education.
exactly, exactly. And through my social project as well, I'm going to have this point as well, that after acceptance, disclose. Why not? And it makes so much easy. The whole conversation, the whole experience will be easy, will be smooth, because now you're not trying to stop yourself from stammering. Your expectations have changed. And this, for some of us, like the mind is like always works the opposite side. When I tried not to stammer, I always stammer. And when I've said, okay, there's nothing wrong with stammering, and then eventually, like, I am noticing that, and people are saying that, you don't stammer, because I don't have that mechanism behind me, that defense mechanism, that I'm going to stop myself. I'm not conscious anymore. I'm just enjoying to express myself, and it is giving me the freedom. It is giving me that power, and we all deserve that power. We all deserve that freedom. We all deserve that liberty, that liberating experience.
Yes, 100%, because what I have learned and I am still learning is being mindful, being present. So I am I am focusing all of my energy on you. I'm not even worried about the stutter coming down the road. I could care less because I'm talking to Puneet, and Puneet is awesome, and I am enjoying our conversation. So I'm not even thinking about my stutter. I am present with Puneet, and I am having an awesome time just having a conversation with you because um you made this excellent point. When I think about it, when it's always in the back of my head, Puneet, when it's always there, I do it. I stumble, I block, I repeat. But if I'm being present and just focus on you and having a great talk with you, it's it's gone. It's gone. And so I am enjoying being in the present talking to you. So I'm not even thinking about a stutter, a block, a repeat. Now, if I do, you know what? I will remember because I'm still learning. I will remember to stop and breathe. But yeah, it's a daily struggle. It's a daily struggle. All right. So here is our last hot topic. We have other topics, but here's our last hot topic. So let's talk about dating. All right. Dun, dun, dun. Dating is hard for everybody, but for us, for people who stutter, it's a little bit more complicated. How did you navigate d- dating with having a stutter?
Dating has been never a problem for me. Like surprisingly, it's like it's it's a very smooth part of my life. When I was in like school, in my first relationship, I used to stammer a lot, but still, uh, one girl was there. She used to like me, and she proposed me, and it went well. Like all of these th 3 years we were together, we learned a lot. Like on these young age. Yes, we were stupid, but we were learning a lot together, and that experience was smooth. And in my college life as well, I was not in that acceptance mode, but being I was very clear. I was very uh, my intent was set, and all of the other qualities that I possess. Love, that constant learning that I always try to constantly learn and improve day by day. It always help in every sphere of your life, not only professionally but at every sphere. And this is like we need to understand that we can have a good dating life if and only when you are making it clear that this is it. But still, like now my girlfriend, like she is like such a nice human being. Like my current partner, I look forward to talk to her every day. It's a long distance relationship. She lives in another continent, and like every day she is like uh, she's younger than me. She is not that experienced with me, but she has a lot of ideas. She has a lot of insights. She has a lot of energy. So it's like it's a very, I would say, a relationship of of synergy, when we are constantly growing together, and we are making plans for future. And she loves the way, like she find it cute the way I speak. And she has like never judged me on that regard. Like she, like it's so I feel so fortunate to have such a person in my life. And when I speak, like, she doesn't interrupt. She when I am angry, she just listen and just say that, say whatever you want to say. Like, it's such a, like, when you're with such a mature person, the whole the daily challenges, your professional challenges, all of these things you can discuss at the end of the day. And then you find a person who is listening to you and who is giving you, like, insights, which is so helpful at times. I must say that. And yeah, but I don't see any challenges, but at times, uh, my previous girlfriend used to say that this is going to be a minus point if I introduce your you to my parents, and I don't buy that. I don't buy that. I'm
Exactly.
it's so, like, if you are thinking like that, if then the whole then all your family, all your relatives, all your neighbors, all your friends are going to comment on it. First, you have to be sure about it. And it's an insult. and
Exactly.
and
Exactly.
much more than that, you are trying that to say that, uh, I'm doing a favor to you. It's a favor that I am with you. So yeah, yeah, yeah. So there was some instances, but I rather say that my present partner, like, it's I am so lucky to have her. She is she is like she is a person of values. She is, like, she loves me, and she has accepted me, like, every part of me, like, not even my qualities but my weaknesses, as well at times. Weakness, I'm not taking talking stammering as my weakness, but there are other part of the personalities which are not that strong than the other things are. Suppose, like, I can't cook. So I'm trying
I
to
can't
learn how to
either.
cook. Yeah. Yeah, so I'm gonna try that. And I'm always on for new experiences. I'm always uh, listen to whatever she has to say, and she makes sense all the time. Like, I'm sure I'm amazed all the time. Like, sometimes she irritates me that, I say that, why and how you make sense all the time. How, you are so logical.
You hold on to her. You hold on to her, Puneet, because she is hashtag awesome. She sounds like she is just fantastic. And your ex, girlfriend, oh no. I'm I don't wish ill on nobody, but I'm glad she's gone because you know, in hearing you, I could I could feel her negative energy. And so, no, you don't want none of that. Your present girlfriend, whoo, she's a keeper. You hold on to her. And when y'all get married, I'll come to your wedding. I'll hop on a plane. It's all good. But you hold on to her because she sounds fantastic. Because what I tell everybody is love doesn't care if you have a stutter. Love doesn't care if your hair is purple, if you are bow-legged, it don't care. She loves you for you, and that is fantastic. So yeah, you hold on to her, and yes, I will come to your wedding
Oh, that's so sweet. Thank you.
if you invite me.
Yeah, definitely. We have
I don't
our
want to
first guest.
assume. I'm just
I'm
saying.
going to tell her that we have got first guest.
That'd be awesome. Okay, now, so okay, what do you think about all this new technology? You have Google Home, you have L- Alexa, and then you have Siri. Do you think that all this new technology, this AI, is helpful or hurtful for people who stutter?
It's a very very good question, and I must say that they they have to consider uh, people with speech disabilities when with these technologies. I think they have not given a thought, and so they all have their accessibility wing. And in our advocacy, we are also going to connect to them through social media, going to tag them, and going to start a hashtag or a movement that we demand a proper representation, a proper facility for us as well, because I think we are left behind in this regard. Recently, I was reading that a company is trying to it's an AI company is trying to uh, get pictures of people with stammering while they are talking. So we make faces, right? And we all our facial expressions, they are trying to get that data, and they are trying to do something with it. And I am like always, I am hopeful that AI and machine learning and all of these things can make our life much easier. But at times I become skeptical as well of the all these privacy issues and all these. No, there are some issues which we need to consider. So we need to again, we need to have them on board, because they are the stakeholders as well. And it's important for all the organizations, for all the people to actually ask them relevant questions, because we don't know much. We don't know much about technology as a as a person. Like I'm talking as a person which which doesn't possess these this technical expertise. But let's ask questions, and let's get more input, and then we can ask like what is lacking in the technology, and what changes we want in that much of technology.
See, and I mean, you bring up great points. Many of the responses that I get, to this question, is that it isn't a human, um, and so therefore they use it as a means to practice, and which is great because that's another tool to help us out. Um, my main issue is that they don't give you enough time to respond. They only, I mean, they give me like a second. And so I need 8 minutes to breathe and then I can respond. But, I have been a part of two research studies here in the States. Two colleges, they are creating an algorithm to help with AI technology for people who stutter, and so that way, it will be a helpful tool for us, you know, you know, t- to use. So I am, I can't wait until that, that, that comes out. But I have a lot of difficulties with Google and with Alexa, and then the one that starts with an S, because there are days I can't say that one. Okay, so what is a challenge, speech wise, that you had to overcome, and how did you do it?
Okay, so there has been many challenges. One challenge is to when you go on the stage, the first thing I try to gain is the momentum. That if I begin well, then I have the rhythm in place, and then I can be more calm, and then the whole speech will become comfortable. But with all this anxiety, with all this heartbeat, it is very difficult. And so breathing, like I so that's why I try a lot of humor. Like if you ask me that what is your defense mechanism, I use a lot of humor. And with practice, like I have developed some sense of humor along with it. So if you ask me what, like how stammering has helped you uh, to to grow personally, so I will say, as becoming a more empathetic and becoming a more good communicator, and as a listener, I have also gained a great sense of humor. So it's like it's a like life doesn't work in isolation. If it is going to take something from you, if it is going to give you something, I always believe like that. Like not some years ago, but when I try to keep my mind open, and I when I try to be a little free, then I observe that, okay, these are my qualities which I should embrace, which I should appreciate, and which for which I am grateful.
How cool. Now, you have already responded in a couple of bits, throughout our whole talk. However, I want to hear the whole answer, because it's powerful. It's powerful. So, what has your stutter taught you?
It has made me a person I am. Like with all of these challenges, I stutter is not the only challenge that I have faced in my life. I have seen domestic violence, I have seen poverty, I have seen all of these I did these things by bullying and trolling, of course, yes. So with all of these things, like if at this point of time, I'm so grateful for all of these challenges, because I didn't allow all of these things to get inside me. And it's because maybe if like I I see some people who have faced domestic violence, and they somehow become very defensive at times. Some people show different reactions to different situations. But for me, with stammering, with becoming like with stammering, I try to look inside, because I was not talking. So what a person will do when he's not talking, he will listen, and he will look inside. He will observe, and then he will become more self-aware. So it's the you are meditating. Like every time when you're talking, you are meditating, because you are putting a lot of efforts. The effort, I always feel that people should pay respect to us, not in regard because we are just an individuals like they are. We are no superior, we are not inferior, but they should pay respect in regard, because we are putting a lot of efforts to talk to you. Like look at us, and this is so beautiful. Like if someone give me that much of effort, give me that much of respect, that the person is trying to communicate to me, I think I will as a human being will show great respect, and I will appreciate that. Because it is not like that you can do no, it's like we are giving efforts, we are fumbling, we are falling down in our speech, and then we are rising up again. How cool is that? How beautiful is that? And I always like I see these things always like I change perspectives. Like when even you have noticed that thing, that when you ask me some questions, I look that question from other person's perspective as well. And this quality to look at things objectively, neutrally, from a third person perspective, this is also have grown because of my stammering. Because now I like The ego is not there. There is no no bad attitude behind it. I ask questions. I ask stupidest of questions always, and I always try that I'm the most foolish person in that room when I enter, because there then only you can listen, then only you will feel enlightened. When the whole conversation is over, when you're going back home, you know there are a lot of takeaways for me, because I'm not holding back. This is
How cool.
exactly.
I mean, that's powerful. That, I mean, woo. I wrote down a whole bunch of stuff that you said. You are a wealth of knowledge, Puneet. And so, yeah, I mean, that was a powerful response. And thank you. So, what advice would you give to another person who stutters?
Get your guards down. Get your guards down. Don't be defensive. Just just try to be free. And I know it's not going to be easy. There are two people talking in this podcast. One has taken 35 years, the other one has taken 18 years, and if we talk like that do this and do this, we will not not justify, because we have taken a whole lot of time. But the whole process is to reach a state of mind that we have reached. And it's not like that we have reached. It's not like nirvana or enlightenment. No, it like every day you get up, you have that challenge every day. And every day you have to remind yourself. Every day it's a constant exercise. And and we need to, like, we all need to do this exercise. We have need to start as soon as possible, because as start as you soon you will reach there. But the job is not done by reaching there. The practice, the show must go on every day. And we should be grateful for this, because we are always on our toes. Like, nothing comes easy, like nothing. Like, we are giving a lot of efforts and a lot of inputs and a lot of, it helps us to understand ourselves so much better. We are analyzing ourselves, like, day in and day out. And this is going to help you in every aspect of life. Don't run away from this, from from this exercise. Don't run away. No, no. Like, just be little consistent. Start with that 10 minutes, start with 5 minutes. Discover yourself, what works for you. Is it mindfulness, is it yoga, is it uh, pranayam? Whatever works for you, try, explore. And first of all, like, be be little be little assertive. You have to know what are your rights as a human being. You are here to do something. Like, you should have the purpose of life, and stammering should not come in your way. Instead, if you change your perspective, stammering will help you. If you embrace it, if we accept it, try to look at this perspective, and the life will change. So this is the life changing advice from from me.
It's awesome. It's awesome. All right. So, I have one last question. So, if you have the opportunity to be on the world stage and and to give in 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 insight to the world about stuttering, what message would you convey?
I will say that, just sit down and listen to me, and just don't stand up and don't interrupt unless I finish. As simple as that. Just because we have the right to speak, we have right to finish whatever we are saying. Okay, and if you have little patience, it will. it will come off handy, because patience always help, you know, and listening always, listening is the most underestimated component of the communication, but it is the most important part. Certainly it is. So so it's a, like, I'm giving you something, we are giving you something, and let's open your mind to receive it, because if you're not open, you will not receive it. Then it will be just like any other talk, any other discussion, any other interview that we always listen to. So to receive something, you should uh, offer your hands as well. Then only you can get. It's a very simple process, but sometimes, it has taken a centuries. There has been literature where it is written that people with stammering is not capable enough to lead. They are not leaders. They are not capable people. And recently, in one of Netflix production, there's Maya and the three. There's a character who stammers, and for the first time, I have seen, in the first time, the the character is not is not is not no one is trying to fix that character. And even the narrative is like that uh, he's a wizard, and the stammering is helping us to become a better wizard. The narrative is like that. So things are changing, but for like but the pace is so slow. The 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 discourse is not there, the discussion is not there. We have to fasten up everything.
That is an awesome message. And so, what was the name of that on Netflix? What was it called again?
Maya and the three, I guess so, but I'm not sure. Maya and three, yeah.
Okay.
Mm.
Okay. That way I can go, you know, um go and check it out. But I mean, that is awesome. That we are just, getting into that space, because what we have to say, and you have, you have repeated this, it has value. It has value. And so Puneet, I want to say thank you, thank you, thank you. I've had a fantastic conversation with you. It's like over 2 hours long. Woohoo! And um, I want to thank you for sharing your story, because I believe there's healing in sharing our journeys, our stories. And so I just want to say thank you, thank you, thank you. You have a new friend in Texas. I know it's over here. It's like morning time. However, there it's almost midnight. I apologize for keeping you up this late, but I want to say thank you, thank you, thank you. This has been a great conversation.
Pero thanks to you for having me. Like, after listening to all of your experiences, such a nice experience, a nice talk to talk, a nice discussion. And it's always better. It's always so good to listen and to actually, you know, to have this. As I say, that conversation around, because I love to talk. I love to talk about stammering. I would love to talk about people with stammering. It gives me a sense of community as well.
Exactly. Yes, sir. And so so I have the most amazing listeners. I mean, I'm in 58 countries on 6 continents. So if they wanted to reach out to you to to learn more information on your great organization and you, what would be the best way to have them reach out to you?
I'm on social media. I'm very active on LinkedIn and to Twitter. You can connect to me. My name is Puneet Singh Singhal, on LinkedIn, and also my website, my organization website, www.sssstart.org with triple S.
All right, sir. Thank you for that. We will have all those links in the podcast notes, and so that way any person from around the world who is hearing us, and there's a lot. I am blessed to have this platform, and so I mean any of them from around the country can just hop into those notes and hit that link and reach out to you. And so, once again, I want to say thank you. I have a new friend in India. You have a new friend in Texas.
Absolutely,
And so,
yes,
I'll be
absolutely.
waiting on that. I'll be waiting on that wedding invitation because, it's all good. And so I hope you have a great night. And I want you to be well, take care, and stay safe.
Thank you so much, Pedro. Take care. Good night. Oh, good morning to you. Sorry.
Yeah. Over here, it's still daylight. All right, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
If you like this podcast, head on over to Apple Podcasts, subscribe, rate, and review. Thank you for listening, and we will talk again.